Every day, law enforcement get calls about a reckless driver.
Traffic deaths so far this year are higher than years past. How police are hoping to team up with an app to cut down those numbers. We're learning more about two men shot last week in Lexington, what police believe led up to shots being fired, hitting both men. A scary situation at a scary house.
There was a major line cross.
Why haunted house organizers in southeastern Kentucky are worried after vandals hit their building.
This is WKYT News.
From one end of the thermometer to the other. Thanks for staying up late with WKYT. I'm Sean Moody. We went from a chilly start to the weekend to hitting the 70s today, but it's all going to balance out this week. We begin with WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell and your no-wait weather forecast.
And that's what it's all about, Sean, a balancing act here as we move forward. Today, very nice, back in the 70s, as you mentioned. Even out there tonight, we're still holding steady in the 60s. Clear skies, very comfortable night out there. Other than this, the wind still coming in at around 11 miles per hour, gusting even higher than that from time to time, so you have to deal with that. Other locations, low 60s, upper 50s, some mid 50s out there. And you go into eastern Kentucky, you find a couple of spots suggesting 40s there, Middlesboro and also into Harlan. But overall, a very comfortable night currently underway. Now, we look at our hour-by-hour planner. We look at 8 o'clock. We go into the morning, and you can see that we are tracking 47 by 8 a.m. By 5 o'clock, we're at 64 degrees. So much, much cooler as we get into the afternoon and evening. What's going to shake everything up? This right here, a frontal boundary that's going to sweep through the area, and that's what's taking the 70s out of play for us. I'll break it all down, and we'll track that front hour by hour across Kentucky coming up for you in just a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. The holiday season is just about a month away now. More people will be out there on the roads, which of course means the number of crashes will likely go up. So far in 2016, we've seen more traffic deaths on Kentucky roads than at the same time last year, and police are trying to curb that number. An app is hoping to help that. Lifesaver's been around for a little more than a year. Now a Central Kentucky sheriff is showing his support for that app. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner explains in our top story.
Every day, law enforcement get calls about a reckless driver. A lot of times they're called in as either a drunk driver or a driver under influence of some type of drug.
But Woodford County Sheriff Wayne Wright says most reckless driving calls end up being something far different.
And most of the time when you find contact with the driver, most of the time they're texting on their phone.
It's been a deadly year so far. There have been 623 deaths on Kentucky roadways. That's 30 more than this time last year. Police are doing what they can to cut that number down, but they aren't alone.
Last year, it went up 8.8%. The first 6 months of this year, it's up 10%. It's an epidemic.
James Howell is one of the brains behind an app called Lifesaver. Its sole purpose is to stop texting and driving.
You download a free app, and when the car goes in motion, the GPS blocks the screen on the phone.
The catch, the app can't be deleted by, let's say, a teenager without their parent being notified.
It's a great tool.
The app is starting to get attention from law enforcement. Sheriff Wright is standing by this app and says he just wants to see kids get home safe.
It also gives, hopefully comfort to not only the parent but also other motorists and drivers, knowing that young teenagers are not going to be distracted by texting or emailing, talking, Twitter or whatever they choose to communicate now.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
The Woodford County Sheriff has taken that app in front of the Kentucky Sheriff's Association Board next month. He is hoping that they, too, will support it. We now know the names of two men who police say were shot here in Lexington last week. Police say that shooting stemmed from a robbery. Police say the men were shot Thursday night at a home on Red Mile Road. 20-year-old Demetrion Boaz is charged with first-degree robbery. According to court documents, investigators say Boaz and two other people held two people at gunpoint until someone else fired shots at the suspects. The documents go on to say that one of the victims, 22-year-old Robert Record, was shot once in the back by accident. The second victim, 19-year-old Saquon Freeman, was shot 5 times. Police say Freeman is still in serious condition. Record is expected to be okay. Police say the robbery happened after Boaz pulled out a gun on his cousin, who was trying to sell him a half ounce of marijuana. No other arrests have been made in that case. And in western Kentucky, state police say one man is dead after an officer-involved shooting. Troopers say a woman called 911 in Metcalfe County saying she'd been in a fight with her boyfriend and that he was outside shooting a gun up into the air. When officers got to that house, troopers tell us that man, 38-year-old Kenny Tomlin, came out of the house with a rifle. Troopers said Tomlin would not put down that rifle and that he fired a shot. They fired back, killing him. State police say they are still investigating. Investigators are also still in the process of transferring a man charged in connection to a double murder in Laurel County to a jail there. Manchester police arrested 24-year-old Christian Roberts on Saturday in Clay County. Police said they found him at an apartment there. Last month, a Laurel County grand jury indicted Roberts and Bradley Lawson for the March 2015 murders of Donnie and Sharon Jackson. Deputies said the couple was shot to death in their home. Roberts is still at the Clay County Jail. He faces murder, robbery, arson, and tampering with physical evidence charges out of Laurel County. The teenage daughter of Lexington native and Olympian Tyson Gay will be laid to rest tomorrow. 15-year-old Trinity Gay was shot and killed last Saturday in the parking lot of a Lexington restaurant. Police said two other vehicles were firing shots at each other, and Trinity was caught in the crossfire. Yesterday, hundreds of people packed into Southland Christian Church in Nicholasville to say goodbye to Trinity. Her burial will be tomorrow in Russellville. So far, 4 people have been charged in connection with that deadly shooting. New tonight, we've learned that Ohio's Attorney General has approved more than $20,000 to help pay for the funerals for 3 of the 8 family members found dead earlier this year in Pike County. 7 adults and a teenager were found in April near Piketon, Ohio. The state's Ohio Victims of Crime Compensation Program is giving $7,500 toward funeral costs for 2 of the young adults and the teenager. The state's already paid about $7,300 to help cover other funeral costs. All those murders are still unsolved. Investigators are at a crash site in Southern California trying to figure out what caused a tour bus to slam into an 18-wheeler early this morning. The California Highway Patrol said 13 people were killed and at least 31 were injured. CBS's Chris Martinez has the latest from North Palm Springs.
A crane was needed to separate a tour bus and tractor trailer on Interstate 10 in North Palm Springs, California. The bus plowed into the back of the truck very early Sunday morning.
In almost 35 years, I've never been to a crash where there's been 13 confirmed fatal accidents. So it's tough.
A survivor told police most of the passengers were sleeping at the time of the crash. First responders used ladders to reach the victims because the door was inaccessible.
The trailer itself entered about 15 feet into the bus. So you can see that it was a substantial impact. The bus was traveling significantly faster than the tractor trailer that it struck from behind.
The bus driver died in the crash while the truck driver was injured, as were dozens of bus passengers.
It seemed as though most of the victims were unrestrained and therefore were flown through the air and ended up sustaining facial trauma.
The bus was heading west on I-10 back to Los Angeles from a casino near Palm Springs. Police say the 1996 bus was inspected earlier this year.
And no mechanical deficiencies were noted.
Federal records show the bus company involved owned 1 bus and had 1 driver. Chris Martinez, CBS News, North Palm Springs, California.
Records also showed that company had a satisfactory rating. The National Transportation Safety Board is sending a team to California to investigate. We've learned tonight that 3 elementary school-aged children hit by an SUV at a bus stop in Louisville are slowly recovering. Police say a 10-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl, who are brother and sister, and an 8-year-old boy were all rushed to the hospital after the crash. A Louisville TV station reports that 8-year-old has a broken femur, bruised lung and pancreas, and a concussion. His family says he'll need physical therapy and that he's learning to walk with a walker right now. The brother and sister are also still in the hospital. The family says that little boy has a broken leg and the little girl has head injuries. We're told she's in a medically induced coma right now. The driver of the SUV was also taken to the hospital. He was charged with not having insurance or registration. 4 people are recovering after a crash this morning here in Lexington. Police said a Hyundai Santa Fe was turning onto Tates Creek Road from Old Dobbin when it was hit by a GMC Jimmy. Both of those SUVs ended up in the median of Tates Creek Road. 1 person in the Santa Fe and 3 people in that GMC, including 2 children, were all taken to the hospital, but police said all of them had non-life-threatening injuries. Deputies in southern Kentucky are looking for a woman wanted for passing fake money. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office posted this picture of the woman who they're looking for. You see her there on your screen. They say she is responsible for passing counterfeit $100 bills at 2 businesses. Deputies said those phony bills showed up in Corbin, Williamsburg, even at the sheriff's office. The bills passed the marker test, but did not have those plastic vertical strips that run across new bills. A Letcher County haunted house has been the target of some vandals lately. Organizers of Brimstone Haunted House in Whitesburg say the latest incident happened last night. They said multiple people surrounded the building and started throwing rocks and sticks, damaging boards on the windows. Nobody was hurt, but there were volunteers and visitors inside at the time. Each year, this haunted house donates all its money to charity, and organizers are trying to figure out why someone would want to target them.
I really don't think that it was random. I think we were targeted, obviously, because this has been happening this entire season. And I think that they're just mad at the fact that we still not quit. But last night it was a bit much, with the kids inside and everything. It was, there was a major line crossed.
The police went out to the haunted house and stayed there till about 2 a.m. when it closed. They're still investigating the incident. Still to come here on WKYT News, it is a Halloween tradition. We'll take a look at some of the best costumes from this year's cyclocross competition. And hundreds of women fill Rupp Arena for Coach Cal's annual women's clinic, but Cal had a surprise up his sleeve for the ladies.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Running in the 60s out there tonight, pretty comfortable for us. Considering yesterday we didn't get into the 60s in many locations across Kentucky, period, at any point during the day. And we're sitting here closing in on midnight, and we're there. 10 minutes away from midnight, by the way. 61 right now in Lexington. Got some upper 50s into London, also into Jackson. 55 in Somerset. But overall, very pleasant night compared to what it could very well be and what it normally is this time of year. On our Defender Radar Network, it is quiet across central and eastern Kentucky. No showers, no thunderstorms, not hardly any cloud cover showing up on this map, except a little bit into Ohio. That's it. It's as close as it comes to us, at least at this moment in time. What we have is a frontal boundary that's on the move. This front is going to pass through Kentucky tonight and into the early morning hours with very little fanfare, but you will notice a difference tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, because daytime highs are going to be down. So no immediate moisture associated with it that'll pass through here. As far as showers are concerned, hardly any cloud cover as well. We look to the early morning hours and you can see the skies are generally on the clear side. We're at 47 degrees. Those winds that we're tracking out there right now that are still kind of gusty from time to time are also beginning to die out. We go through the rest of your Monday and you'll see highs down. Got into the low and mid-70s today. Tomorrow we're stuck in the 60s, and again a little on the breezy side tomorrow afternoon, but nothing significant out there either. Good looking day overall. Now let's get to how this all happens. That would be because of this, the frontal boundary I mentioned. So watch as it starts to close in on us and sweeps across Kentucky, and will then take most of the warmth that we had really rallying in here, gets rid of it, just flattens it out. And then we're looking at calm and clear conditions here as we go through the rest of your Monday. And for a few days, as a matter of fact, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, all very quiet before we start rallying and shifting things around a little bit. So overnight, let's go through it, and you will see temperatures into the 40s, area-wide with a few 50s perhaps. We get into the daytime hours, all of us into the low, mid, and maybe some upper 60s out there. So again, below where we were today, but closer to average. And average is what it's all about in this 7-day forecast, because I think that's where we're going to be most of the time here, Monday through Wednesday. And even when the next front arrives and brings us a chance of rain, it'll also keep our temperatures around normal for this time of year. So the most exciting thing in the forecast is that front, but it doesn't do a whole lot for us. It just keeps temperatures kind of on that track of normal.
Hey, you know, boring is okay sometimes, especially when it comes to weather.
Because we're very close to winter, and we know what that can always mean, right?
You said the W word.
I did.
Oh,
yes.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Jim.
yet.
Not yet. But today's weather was far from wintry. It was perfect for Louisville's 12th annual cyclocross competition. It's a form of bike racing that involves some off-roading and obstacles. And every year, right before Halloween, hundreds of people attend the Storm Eva Bandman competition. It features several races that range from 20 minutes to an hour. And participants and spectators are also encouraged to wear costumes. A little lion retriever there. After the break, we're about 2 weeks from Election Day, and some people are already casting their votes. We'll have more from the campaign trail next. Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $30 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot, $164 million. With just over 2 weeks until Election Day, the candidates are making a final push, and some voters are already casting their ballots. CBS's Brooke Silva-Braga has the latest on Campaign 2016.
Long lines of early voters formed in Nevada this weekend, with Democrats far outnumbering Republicans in the first day of early voting there. That's good news for Hillary Clinton, who also leads Donald Trump by 12 points in a new national poll. At a rally in North Carolina, Clinton criticized her opponent for calling the election rigged.
He refused to say that he would respect the results of this election, and that is a threat to democracy.
On Face the Nation, RNC Chairman Reince Priebus defended Trump.
If you lose by 200 votes in Florida, are you going to concede on election night? I'm going to reserve all options. That's what he's saying.
But reserving options is different than saying it's going to be stolen.
That's how I say it.
I understand. But that's the problem is the difference between what you say and what he says.
I know where he's at on this.
But at a Sunday evening rally in Florida, Trump didn't back down.
It's rigged. It's broken. It's corrupt. They want me to take that back. Let me tell you, folks, it's a rigged system.
A new CBS poll shows 72% of Florida Republicans believe Trump would win if not for voter fraud, though independent research from the Pew Center found little evidence of it. Brooke Silva-Braga for CBS News, New York.
A new CBS Battleground Tracker poll shows Clinton leading Trump in Florida by 3 points. Absentee voting is now available in all Kentucky counties. It opened up on Friday. But remember, you have to have a reason to vote early here in Kentucky. If you're going to be out of the county on November 8th, you can vote in person at your county clerk's office or through the mail. You can also qualify to vote absentee in Kentucky for other reasons, like if you're in the military or pregnant. Lying on your absentee application is a crime. You can contact your county clerk's office if you have any questions about absentee voting. The ladies packed Rupp Arena today for the annual John Calipari Women's Clinic. This is the first year the clinic was held at Rupp Arena. More than 1,000 women showed up. And during the clinic, Coach Cal surprised everybody with a $10,000 donation to the Markey Cancer Foundation. A woman we spoke with there says she was actually diagnosed with a brain tumor last December.
I am so lucky that I had the support from friends and family and Big Blue Nation. So many people who I didn't even know, who have seen interviews or articles, have reached out, have donated. Everywhere I go, I feel like a celebrity now, but that has helped more than anybody will know.
Ashley Lyle says the tumor usually leaves people with only months to live. Her goal last season was to make it to the SEC tournament, but of course you can see she has done that and a lot more. Lee K is in next with sports, and a lot of Kentucky fans are still celebrating the Wildcats' big win last night.
Yeah, they are, Sean. The Wildcats delivered the first game-winning field goal since the LSU game back in 1998. And A.J. Green delivers an unbelievable catch in the Battle of Ohio. See it next in sports.
Kentucky the win over Mississippi State.
I had a lot of confidence in him.
Good snap.
With that last kick.
It's on the way.
Our players played their hearts out.
Did it get there? It's good! Kentucky wins!
I think we both just looked at each other, and I don't even know what we said. I just, I gave him a hug and probably told him I loved him.
Austin McGinnis is the hero!
An unbelievable finish to a dog and cat fight on Saturday night. The Wildcats earning a 3rd win in the SEC and 4th win on the season. The game featured 6 lead changes, 5 in the second half, and just when the Wildcats looked to have used up their 9th life, Austin McGinnis booted a 51-yarder as time expired to seal it for Kentucky.
It felt good coming off my foot, and honestly, I just went blank after that. Like, I just kind of stood there like, you know, deer in the headlights, and it went in, and I just started celebrating with my snapper and holder because, you know, they put a lot of work into it too, and it's just a great feeling. Love it.
I was just praying like, God, please, God, please, God, please. Then I see the ball, I'm like, oh my gosh, he just made it. He just made it. Yeah.
To the wire, to the last second. That kick, I mean, once it goes through the uprights, we're all storming that field, and it's unbelievable. I mean, like I said, the emotions were so high.
Quarterback Steven Johnson completed 17 of 33 passes, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. His 17 completions tied a career high. Now, while he made several big plays in the game, he also had one costly turnover in the 4th quarter that led to a scoop and score. After the game, he was asked to grade his performance.
I don't know. I think I could have done a lot better, especially with that fumble, like you said. Just hand the ball off, try to not to be the hero, and let Benny score a touchdown. And, I mean, we win by a lot. And they don't get the chance to go down there and go within 3. It's a 14-point swing at that point. So, I mean, rating myself maybe a C.
Think about it this way, though. If you didn't have that fumble, we wouldn't have the dramatic field goal to win it all. So the next game on the schedule, Saturday at Missouri, a noon kickoff on the SEC network. The Tigers lost at home to Middle Tennessee on Saturday. The Wildcats will need to win 2 of their final 5 games to become bowl eligible for the first time in 6 seasons. The Bengals had won 3 in a row in the Battle of Ohio, looking to make that 4 this afternoon and get their season turned back in the right direction. The Browns still without a win on the season under Hugh Jackson just before halftime. Bengals leading 14-10. Andy Dalton called this the play of the year. Lobs up the Hail Mary, and A.J. Green somehow comes down with the touchdown catch. An unbelievable grab. Wow. Bengals up 21-10 at the break. 3rd quarter, Browns backup quarterback Kevin Hogan can't find a receiver, so he gets greedy. Keeps it himself, and he's going to go 28 yards for the touchdown. Browns down just 21-17, but the Bengals had the answer. Jeremy Hill, who was on my fantasy bench this week, goes 74 yards for the touchdown. The Bengals get the win over the Browns 31-17. But after the game, Andy Dalton talked about A.J. Green's catch just before half.
When you're in those situations, you get guys down there, and one of your guys has to make a play. And I didn't even know what happened. I just knew that the crowd was, you know, screaming and knew we caught it, but I didn't know who caught it, you know. So once everybody was giving AJ a high five, I figured he caught it. I had to watch the replay to see what happened.
A matchup of the only remaining unbeatens in the SEC on the volleyball court today, Kentucky at Missouri. The Tigers took the first 2 sets. Leah Edmond there with the kill in set 3 to win it for the Wildcats. Kentucky with another set point here in the 4th frame. This time it's the defense putting up a block to even the match at 2 games each. Then in the 5th and deciding set, Wildcats trailing 14-12. Edmond comes up with a big block. Looked like a Wildcat point, but the Missouri coach challenges that a Kentucky player was in the net during the rally, and you see there in the middle of the screen, Kaz Brown is the guilty party. The official gives the point to the Tigers. Tough way to lose it as Missouri wins the match 3-2 over the Wildcats.
Well, it doesn't take much, I guess, to be in that net there. Just a quick grazing of it, and that's
it. It's an unfortunate way to lose. But the Wildcat volleyball team, a lot of people aren't talking about it because you've got football and, of course, basketball starting up. The UK volleyball team, very, very good team right now.
Good deal. Thank you, Lee K. We'll be back in just a minute. The Jim Caldwell has your most average forecast of all time here.
That's right, an average forecast for an average man here, with temperatures staying around normal the next few days.
It's getting late, guys.
Yeah, very, very late. 64 degrees tomorrow. We were in the 70s today. You'll notice that change, but it's still not the end of the world kind of weather. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, we'll still take 60s, get the yard work done. Just like you said, they put it in bags, make sure it all doesn't blow away.
That's right, because it'll still be kind of breezy later on this week with another front.
All right, good deal. Jimmy, thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Our next newscast is tomorrow morning at 4:30. And, of course, remember the news is always on at WKYT.com. Have a